What's up, chiropractors? This is Dr. Nick. I just want to give you a quick intro into this Ask Dr. Nick episode. It's a little bit different than what we've been doing. The first 7 or 8 episodes, however many we've had, have all been, 5 questions from 5 different people and then me giving my answer. I recently attended an event where I was going to have them just ask me the one question, and then I was going to give, like a 5-minute response to it, and then I was going to pool those 5 together. But what ended up happening on all of them was the question started the conversation, but then we kept going back and forth, and it almost turned into a consulting session. And I think that it could bring a lot of value to you guys, and I pretty much ended up doing anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes with each person. So this first one is with my good friend Derick VanNess with Big Life Financial. And even though he is not a chiropractor, the topic that we discussed, I think, will be valuable to everyone wondering, kind of how to get started. So hope you enjoy the episode. Let me know what you think.
What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Nick with another episode of the Ask Dr. Nick show. On this one, I'm going to be coming to you live from the Remarkable Practice Seminar in Dallas, and I'm going to be I'm going to have people ask me questions that they've been wondering about when it comes to their marketing or to their practice growth, and I'm just going to have people kind of filter in throughout the weekend. So if we get enough of them, we might have a couple parts of this. So my first guest is my good friend Derick VanNess with Big Life Financial. Good to see you, brother.
Good to be here.
You are the first live question on the Ask Dr. Nick show. How does that make you feel? Man, I don't know if that's the right motion for mind blowing. He just blew his brains out. So I think you meant this.
Blown away.
Yeah, there you go.
Blown away.
Blown away.
I'm blown away.
All right, Derek. Hit me with your Ask Dr. Nick question. What are you wondering about when it comes to marketing your business? Oh, actually, before we do, give me a little bit of background just so that people, not everybody might know what Big Life Financial is.
Okay.
Give me a little bit of context there.
So we do financial strategy for business owners, do a lot with chiropractors, and we have a holistic approach. So we're a little different than stick your money in the market and pray that it works out. So yeah, we do everything from helping people save more on taxes, how to put their money in places where it's going to work for them, how to stay liquid, and how do you decide where to put your dollars into your business, outside of your business, savings, pay off debt, all that kind of stuff. So.
And just because people will know, 𝗂𝗵𝘁𝗀𝗂𝗀𝗴 Gunderson works for you, directly underneath you. He reports right up to you, right?
Of course, yeah. He's my understudy.
There you go.
Just kidding.
All right, so give me something that you're struggling with in marketing your business, and see if I can help.
Okay, so there's so many mediums out there, right? There's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's YouTube, there's all of these other formats. How do I determine where to focus my energy rather than just trying to do everything haphazardly?
Okay. So I would always recommend to start with one. And then once you've kind of mastered one, then you can always start to move out to the other. So what you have to first, and this is a common question, so don't think that you're alone in this one. But what you have to think about is, like, where is your target market? So your ideal market is not just chiropractors, because like younger chiropractors that are just coming out of school or just started a practice, or maybe associates, maybe under 30, those might be more on Instagram than they are on Facebook. The ones that what's probably your average age of doctor that you guys work with?
I'd say 35 to 45.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's target market for Facebook, right?
Right.
And we've talked in the past about just content, just creating more content. Because like me as a successful business owner, like I don't know a lot about the financial products that are out there or the strategies that I could use because nobody wants to pay more taxes than they need to.
Right.
So if you have all that information in your brain, when you share it with people, they're like, oh, okay. Like Garrett came in and talked to my mastermind UAC, and he shared a tip about a new tax write-off or tax exemption for time that you spend at seminars or time that you spend thinking about your business or strategizing or getting trainings. I mean, that's my whole life,
right.
And like, how would I ever know that? I don't read the fine print of the tax code. So to be able to do that and give that to people in a way that they're going to be able to consume it where they're already spending time, that's a home run. So for you, for example, I would say Facebook is number one that you've got to focus on. And we've talked about this before, is creating a group around financial strategies for chiropractors, so that the people that are chiropractors that are looking for financial strategies would be attracted to that group, right?
Yep.
And then we all know, like me as a chiropractor, I know other chiropractors. I went to school with chiropractors. I'm in groups with chiropractors. So if I'm getting value from this group, I'll share it because I always share things that I think are valuable. So I'll share the group with my friends. And you can try to, try to goad that along, just being like, hey, if you know anybody that's looking to, keep more money in their pocket and be more profitable in practice, introduce them to this group.
Right.
And then if you've given them value, they're going to want to help you out as well, So,
Yeah.
this guy just came out of the seminar just screaming at someone on the phone. That was weird. So anyway, you guys might hear 𝗵𝗂𝗀𝗆𝗄𝗋 just testifying up on the stage. He's pouring it out. This is like a Sunday morning revival. I have a feeling that he is sweating his ass off in there right now.
Well, he's definitely passionate about whatever's going on.
He's passionate about everything. So, does that make sense though? Because it all revolves around content.
Right.
First, you got to create the content, and I think just because we know each other, I think that you overthink the content, which is what a lot of chiropractors do. So I think they'll get value from this also. But I think that I just gave you a strategy earlier is start with Facebook Lives, because there's no turning back. Right. And if you make a commitment to do it every day. Now, I did a 90-day Facebook challenge with a friend that is here, and we bet if one of us didn't do it, the other one got $100, right?
Okay.
I ended up winning $4,000 in that bet because I did 76 of the 90 days, and he got too lazy to do them.
Oh, wow.
So I needed that negative reinforcement of it's 10:30 because I had to have it done by 11. It's 10:30. I need to get up and do my video. If you're a positive reinforcement guy, just say, listen, if I do 7 videos in a row or 7 videos this week, Facebook Live, at least 3 minutes, if I do those, I'm going to, get myself an ice cream cone or whatever it is that motivates you.
Right.
But you got to know internally what that is. And don't bullshit yourself. Be honest. Am I going to do this or am I not going to do it?
The negative would work better for me.
There you go. So find something that, with me, it's I can always try. I'll be like, I'll do this bad thing that I don't want to do if I don't do this thing. That doesn't work for me. I'll just make up the rules again, right? In my own mind.
Right. Easy.
So I needed that other person for the accountability.
Yep.
And that betting really resonated with me. And so that got me to do it. I didn't do all 90, but I did 76. And that got me into the rhythm of it. And now this kind of stuff makes it much easier. Setting up the lights, setting up the cameras. I've already kind of worked through the process of
the learning
that.
curve, yeah.
Yeah. But the less that you think about the glare in your glasses, what mic to use, what light stand to get, the hair gel, the less you think about that, the more, because the content is what matters, right? What you're saying, the tips you're giving, those are the things that people are going to resonate. They don't care what it looks like. It could come in a podcast form. It could come in videos. It could come in a blog. But you've got to start somewhere. So I always say, whatever of those 3, whichever one you think is going to be the easiest, start there. But you and I have talked a lot about video. So if you're going to start with video, I think Facebook's the way to go.
Okay.
Because that's where chiropractors are. But I do find that chiropractors, and I'm included in this, I don't think that they use Facebook as much in their feed as they used to. I think most people 35 to 45 are now using Facebook mainly for the groups that they're in because they get value from that. I think most people are spending time, family and friends type stuff, on Instagram now. So for you're going to have to get them into that group, right?
Okay.
So they're on Facebook in their feed, but they're mainly consuming the content in the groups, not so much of the people's posts in between.
Right.
So you're going to have to get paid advertising or your organic content out there. I would say paid, just because you don't really have a following right now. Now you could kind of lean on Garrett's audience to be able to. I don't know if he's a big enough name to be an interest in Facebook, but that would be amazing because you're obviously work with him.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. And yeah, we do have a following and we've got a page, but we need to build it up some more.
But even if you have, how many people are on the page?
Just over 100.
Okay. So if you posted and every single one of them saw it, which is like not going to happen. Like
Right,
20 of them might see it. Most chiropractors have about 1,000 people on a page. So when they post something, maybe 100 to 150 people are going to see that content.
That's what I've heard, yeah. 10
So
to 15%.
10-15%. And you want to start reaching out beyond the people that you already know.
Of course.
You know,
yeah.
like we come to these same seminars a lot, so you see a lot of the same faces. There's 50,000 chiropractors in the country out there.
Yep.
I'd say 10,000 of them are probably your ideal target market. So you got to go find those people. And the way that you do that is you got to pay. Facebook is basically a pay-to-play game now.
Yeah, I've seen that, definitely.
Because I don't know if YouTube is really that great of a strategy for you, because I don't know how many people are like going on and typing in specifically for like chiropractic financial strategies.
Right.
And so they would have to be looking for the keywords that you want to show up for. And if you want to show up for chiropractic specific stuff, I just don't know if that's a frequent enough keyword for someone to type in. But I do think that Facebook, it's like where they're already at. So you might as well go fishing from the pond where the fish are at.
Yeah, well, I think the main thing I took from this is just building that rhythm, that habit of consistently putting out content. Because like you said, there's so many things. I mean, I talk to, between 3 and 10 clients a day, and there's all kinds of topics that come up over and over and over again. Just
the same ones.
Spitting that stuff out.
You've had the same 100 conversations 1,000 times.
I have.
Just like
chiropractors.
everyone.
Yeah.
My office is that way. My agency is that way. Everything is like once you get into something, everybody has the same problems, and that's where you got to figure out what are the angles that somebody's going to care about, that's never heard of me, that's never thought about this stuff, that's going to get them to just stop, because you need them to stop. Then they'll consume the content. But the first step is, like, we could sit here and talk all day about was Facebook better, is Instagram better, is YouTube better, but if you don't have any content to put on there, none of it matters.
Yeah.
Step one is you have to create the content. So I would say just on that page of 100, just do Facebook Lives every day for the next 90 days and just get used to it. Hardly anybody's going to see it, but the ones that do might get some value out of it and call you up. There's probably people in that list of 100 that, you know what I would actually do, since it's only 100, because you can see the names, I'd reach out to each one of them individually, and I'd just be like, hey, I'm thinking about starting to create some video content. Is there anything I can answer specifically for you? Just like I just did with you. I was like, hey, think of a question, I'll answer it, you'll get some value out of it, and I get some content out of it.
Yeah, that's a great idea, because I only know about maybe a third of the people who are on that page. Yeah. The other people are, a lot of my regular clients are not even on that page.
The 67 are who I would be the most interested in, because now you reach out to them and it might strike up a conversation. Probably only one of them is going to like really care that much that you asked them, but one's better than zero.
Well, it's always good to it's easier to answer a direct question than to just make up content, right? Like when you're talking to a real person, makes it easy.
This is so much easier for me than me sitting here thinking, okay, what's the
about?
angle? Okay, I got to go find some like analogy out in Dallas you see that big thing in the sky? Sometimes your practice is like the big thing in the sky. It's like, it's hard to do when it's like, and a lot of times you end up kind of fall, especially like if you're kind of rushed to do content. Like for me, I put out content every day. So sometimes I'm more organized than others. And when I'm not, that's when I start to reach a little bit for the ideas, and I'll repeat myself when I am kind of like just thinking, because like whenever you're like in a rush to think of something, you're going to think of the thing that's like the most top of mind for you, the thing that you talk about the most frequently,
Sure.
So getting things from them, you could do like a question and answer show like this, where people ask financial questions. People are always wanting free financial advice.
They are.
And you could, like, people could consume all the financial advice in the world, and they still half the time aren't going to do anything, and they're still going to be like, you seem like you know what you're talking about. It's just easier if I give it to you.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I tell everybody everything that I do on on my content. It's not like any big secret. Like, they could read Garrett's books, and I'm assuming they could get half of the stuff that you guys talk about. So
they could get a lot of it, but it's like you said, it's having the accountability of another person who you say, yes, I'm going to do this thing, and because they're going to check on you, you actually do it instead of thinking, I'll get to that someday.
Exactly. And like when you make it for somebody, then you can tag them in it. And they can like see it, because when you tag somebody, they see it. So like when I do this podcast, like when we post this podcast, I'll tag you in it, so you'll know this is the Ask Dr. Nick show where I had my my question answered, right? And you'll see it and you'll be like, hey, thanks, Nick, and like maybe one of your friends, because you're friends with chiropractors on Facebook, maybe one of your friends will watch it and be like, oh, Nick sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Maybe I'll schedule a strategy session with him to help with my marketing, right? That's how content works. Like you never know what's the thing that's gonna, like you'd be shocked at the thing. Now that I've been creating consistent content, you'd be shocked at the stuff that is like triggered, because I ask people like what caused you to schedule the strategy session, and the stuff is just like random, like I listened to one podcast interview of this guy that I'm friends with, and I don't know, you sounded kind of smart, so I called you.
Yeah, I have a bunch of articles, about 20 of them on Medium, and a bunch of them have, a few reads, and a bunch of them have a couple hundred, and I have this one that gets like 50 reads a day, every day. And it was, when I wrote it, it was like the simplest concept of all. It was just like, oh yeah, you should always save 10% of your income.
There you go.
And if you're not, you really need to. And that was like the basic idea of the content, and it just blew up, and I almost didn't publish it.
The simple is usually the best, because the people that need the most help are the ones that are doing nothing and need that first step. Yeah. They don't need the complicated strategies. Right. Because it's over their head. They don't even know what they don't know. They need like, okay, what, sometimes like with content creation, the biggest thing is like, what do I say?
Yeah, of course.
It always starts with that. So like when I create content, I try to help people with, what should you be talking about? And that's usually the content that gets the most engagement.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because when you're in it and you're talking about it all the time, it's like you said, we get excited about the more technical stuff, the more insider stuff, and like most people are ABC, and we're interested in XYZ. Like
we're interested in advanced calculus, and they're in simple math. I go to these conferences all the time. I'm just like, oh my god, this is such a great idea, and then I'll list out some like ideas for some content, and I'll usually have to boil it down a couple of times to make sure that A, it's chiropractic focused, and B, that it's going to be relevant to the people that I'm looking for. Because I'm not really, the people that are my ideal client are not exactly like people that are the savviest content creators of all time, because those people usually are like they think that they have got it figured out, so they don't need me. Right. The ones that think that they need me, because I think that everybody needs our service. Sure. But I think I would make it easier even for the people that are advanced. But the ones that don't know anything, they know that they don't know. Right. And those are the ones that are like, I definitely need help. Like they're admitting that they need help. And so that's my ideal audience. And I have to remember that. I'm not trying to impress the other agency owners. I'm not trying to impress the advanced videography marketing people that are chiropractors. I'm trying to help the guy in Omaha, Nebraska that knows he should be doing something, but he's not sure what he should be doing. So I have to always think of it in that lens. You have to, and that's why I think having like a really good idea of who your avatar is helps, because that's where the nuance is.
I agree with that 100%, because I do forget sometimes when you're like so deep in your bubble. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're like, everybody knows this stuff.
You should always remember. You should always remember that 10% thing. Like every time you create content, you should just like have it on your desk and like look at it and be like, oh yeah, simple.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Because I wouldn't. I mean, like I would read the 10% thing. I don't know if I would read the advanced like life insurance strategy.
Right, or the alternative investments, or some of these advanced tax
I'd read the 10% all day. Like, give me a tip on how I do that. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the stuff that I think would resonate the most. Anything else I can help you with?
A million things, but that wraps that up.
All right, brother. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Love it.
All right.
Thanks, Nick.